Usually there's a more natural lead into this, but...
There's no lead-in?
No.
Did you just start recording while we were talking about...
I've been recording for the last 5 minutes.
Oh, okay, cool.
But usually there's like a... Dog, do not pull it. Just get over the wire. Just get over the wire.
Do you have the batteries in there?
I do.
All right, good. No,
he's all tangled.
He's all tangled in the wire.
I'll raise it up.
Take his ass, Thor. It's just water?
Just water.
Okay.
Yeah, usually there's a more natural... You know what? Fuck it.
There's no natural.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am Paul Danino Braun, and with me, as always, the incomparable, the usually bearded, the Under Armour hat wearer.
I wore my hat today.
He wore his hat today. You can't see because it's theater of the mind, but I'm with David Strano.
Yeah, you put the hat on, and there you go. Now you got your hat on.
And this is On the Rocks, a conversational podcast about movies.
Or in this case, TV show. Or
a streaming property.
Or keep it going. It's dead air now.
Are we just yes-anding each other?
We're supposed to be professional.
We're not?
Somewhat.
Not even close.
No, we're going to talk about The Boys, which is a new Amazon Prime streaming show. There's 8 episodes. They're about, an hour long?
Roughly, they're an hour each. And
they're based on the Garth Ennis comic book.
Writer of such hits as Preacher, which I'm a huge fan of.
And he's done a lot of different runs on The Punisher over the years. He's done the max hardcore version where without the comedy, and then he did probably his most notable one, which is Welcome Back Frank, which is a great read, and it's very dark and very funny. That's what this feels like. That's
typically what I associate Garth Ennis with, is very dark, very funny.
He can go either way. It's going to be really dark or it's going to be dark funny.
It's weird because it's I don't know if I would classify The Boys or even Preacher as a dark comedy. Yet
funny things happen in them.
Yeah, and I laugh just as much as I would in a dark comedy while watching.
Yeah.
All intentionally.
Yes.
But it's almost it's not a dark comedy. It's a dark ... completely separate sentence ellipsis comedy. Never the twain shall meet. It's two completely separate entities that somehow coexist, and it works.
Oh, I feel there's things okay, I stated that it's unintentional, and there's parts of it, especially in Welcome Back Frank, where this it's very famous. You can probably Google it. Mm-hmm. It's where the Punisher punches a polar bear in the face. Yeah, he punches a polar bear in the face because he wants the polar bear agitated.
I mean,
to get him to kill these mob people. And the way it's paneled, it's hysterical. And the reaction of the bear is great. And then what happens later, the mob boss has 0 limbs or whatever, and it's brutally maimed. But the way it's all staged, it's kind of slapstick. It's very odd. It also has to do with his artist, because he works with somebody. He used to work with. He unfortunately died a couple years ago, but the way he drew the characters were especially hysterical. I forgot the artist's name.
I'm just gonna go ahead and say this really quick. I don't know about you, but I noticed that there were a lot of instances of female characters saving male characters in this movie. I think they should have called it The Girls. Should probably change the name to The Girls.
I don't know. Is this something? Are you trying to lead into something? Because I don't know anything about
I'm just shitting on the last X-Men movie.
Oh, okay.
It's that podcast got lost to the ether because of poor audio quality.
Oh, really?
It's the mic cut out at one point, and it's using just the GoPro audio. I mean, fuck it. Like I can scrap it together and put it up, and I'll give them a warning like up front. Hey, audio's not good on this one.
Or we can just say it's bad. Don't watch.
Yeah. I mean, you even have Simon Kinberg being like, yeah, I done goofed.
I don't think we can hear him.
We definitely can hear. Boys! Thor, Hemsworth, and Georgie Denborough, stop fighting.
Look at that.
Sorry, I just adopted a puppy and...
He's going crazy.
They're going just absolutely buttfuck over
He
there.
looks bigger.
He probably is already. He's definitely perked up a bit.
Oh, yeah. He's going to kick his ass.
So, Dave, can you utilize your dulcet tones to give us a brief overview? Just a brief setup for what The Boys is.
Actually, can you pull it up on your phone? You know what? I'll pull it up on my phone. You're creating more of a mess, Paul.
Why she feels the need to fucking put that thing against the wall there?
We will never know. Paul's having accidents.
No, I don't. It falls every other day, and she just keeps putting it there.
Who is she, Paul?
My lovely wife.
Yes.
I'll be cut out. Stop it.
We'll cut this part out. And
Yeah,
then,
no,
yeah.
we'll cut this all.
So there's the long version, and then there's the very short version.
I figured, why don't you just give it like the brief setup, like just like the inciting incident, what the idea is, and then just,
Oh, okay. So the series called The Boys. We have our main character, Huey, right? Huey Campbell.
And the news, Lewis.
Well, Huey Campbell in the news, obviously.
I knew.
The news is probably The Boys, but yeah, Huey and the Boys. That's what it would be.
Yeah.
So Huey's
Sorry, not
girl.
Dennis Quaid.
So we live in a world where superheroes exist. They are a part of a corporation. Right?
Now, would you say that this world, barring the singular exception that they're superheroes, is reality? So it's not like a Watchmen. Like it's literally just you introduce superheroes, but every other single aspect of society is the same.
Yeah. No, you're right. Yeah, cool. It's pretty much everything's normal, but we have superheroes now, and the superheroes basically act as personalities, like a celebrity almost. Like a sports figure.
They're like a brand.
Or or movie star, something like that. That they have their own movies, TV shows. They do their own sports events.
Generate money,
and that's what they're a part of. They're a part of this big corporation, like their own talent agency, kind of. And they go out and they do PR stuff and they fight crime, quotation marks. It was actually kind of unclear because they had that one part where the Deep and Starlight team up, but then the PR person comes out of nowhere and is like, "Oh, this is great! Now punch him again in the face" or something like that. Remember? So it's like, is it staged?
I don't think it's staged. I think they're literally only willing to fight crime when it benefits them, in the sense that it needs to be captured.
Okay.
There needs to be names. It needs to be verified. It's basically like
we don't see that
it didn't happen.
Because we don't really see that with everybody else or anything else that happens that way.
We don't really see too much typical patrol type stuff.
But anyway, it's just kind of like happenstance. Like some guys holding up, shooting cops or whatever, atop of a building, and then they call in their superhero team to go get them out or whatever, But anyway, so we have Hugh Campbell. He is our main protagonist. He's an ordinary person, regular guy. And while he's walking with his girlfriend down the street, all of a sudden, the superheroes, basically like the Flash, A-Train, comes in and basically, smashes her. like just runs her over basically in like a big explosion of blood and guts, and that's what kicks off basically a revenge plot for our main character.
And I think it's very telling because like there is a lot of violence in the show, but this goes back to like my statement before about it not necessarily being a dark comedy but being both dark and comedy.
That it's two totally separate things, because you're at first it's like, oh my god, and then you start laughing.
No, so,
because of how absurd but how crazy.
Like this isn't the only instance of somebody blowing up.
Yeah.
Basically, for all intents and purposes, she blew up.
Yeah.
Right there in that instance, I found that scene incredibly disturbing and unnerving in the way they portrayed it, just how shocking it was.
Well, also that he's covered in her blood and he's still holding
and just
hands.
There's almost nothing left of her.
Yeah, there's nothing.
You know, you see like bits and pieces of her like it's really fucked the way they portray it. But later on they blow up someone else and it's fucking hilarious. Like it's all about like
it's under different circumstances, but yes.
Yeah, I'm just saying like there's the violence isn't one note. They manage to have it be very funny sometimes and truly shocking at other times.
Yes.
Which I feel like is kind of hard to do. Like in a movie like Django, none of the violence in that movie is shocking because it's so over the top. It's just fucking hilarious the entire time.
I guess you're not expecting it. Because there's things in here that you don't expect to happen at all. It not just like gory situations, but just kind of like all different kinds of situations.
So it's interesting. I did
sexual situations.
I did a little
morality
bit of research,
situations.
and the book is from 2006, I believe, right?
I don't know.
I know it's from the mid to early 2000s. It is shocking how topical this show is, because it covers the gamut of like Weinstein-style casting couch situations.
Yep.
Cancel culture even is thrown in there.
What?
Cancel culture. So like, okay, you see Kevin Spacey in anything anymore?
Oh, okay.
Kevin Spacey was canceled.
Gotcha.
He did something, he was canceled.
Gotcha, okay.
You know, that happens to someone.
Yeah.
Because, you know, people are brands now, and you can pull up something shitty that they did at some point, and that's it. They're canceled. They're done.
Well, he felt like he was reassigned. Like,
it felt like he was a priest.
Yeah, that's what I was just about to say.
Spoilers throughout. At this point. I mean, we're already getting into it.
Well, we should say that it's a very good show.
Oh, the show's phenomenal.
And you should, if you have Amazon Prime, you have a Fire Stick, a hacked Fire Stick.
It's
you should watch it.
8 hours. It's a brisk 8 hours. It's very well paced. It's like there's not even like a really weak episode.
No, and the good thing is that it's only 8 episodes. It doesn't feel bloated. I think because one of my things was like coming down to it, like in that 8th episode, I was like, they gotta wrap up so much stuff because I thought it was like gonna end or something.
Yeah.
And then you'll see what happens. It was very crazy. It was like, oh, okay.
The ending of this season 1 is one of the most fucked nihilistic things I've ever seen.
Yes.
And the absolute balls on these guys. Like, I'm amazed that they just said fuck it and did that.
But yeah, I recommend it.
Yeah, it's Amazon Prime's highest rated show on IMDb. It's the most binged thing they've put out, which makes me so happy because
you need a hit.
Listen, yes, it's an adaptation. It's an adaptation of a fucking comic book. It's superheroes, but this is something that's actually...
This is different, and it's a nice...
It's meta. It's very well written. It's also one of the most cynical things I have seen in a while.
It's a counter to the super...
It's great counter programming.
Yeah.
Like, I can't say enough good things. Also...
If you're sick of superheroes... You should watch this.
You really should.
You should. No, you should.
If you hate superheroes, you should watch this because it's still it works if you like them or hate them.
Yes.
And I just want to quick say, I'm just going to put this out there because I was having this conversation with my partner at work. We don't deserve Carl Urban.
Carl Urban's great. He's been in a ton of great stuff. I want to see that TV show that he did a while ago. What is it? Almost Human.
I don't know, but that man's a treasure. He's been
great.
in so
Many nerdy things.
I just hit me. Oh yeah, he's in the MCU.
Yeah, he's in Lord of the Rings.
And Lord of the Rings.
He's in Star Trek. Dread.
And like he always commits 100% to whatever it is. He actually transforms. Like the fact that like he's also Scourge and he's also Dread and he's also
Bones.
Like those are all so different.
Yeah,
he's just great.
he is. He's a great actor, and he doesn't get enough credit.
He really doesn't. Like what the fuck, right?
No, he doesn't.
Carl Urban, you're a good dude.
Yeah.
Also, so two standouts.
That's him.
Two additional standouts. Jake Quaid, right?
I don't know.
Jack Quaid?
Something Quaid.
The actor who plays Huey. 2 seconds.
Who is Dennis Quaid's son? Not Randy
Jack
Quaid's.
Quaid.
Not Randy.
No, not Randy Quaid. Dennis Quaid's son.
Gotcha.
He is awesome.
He's
really good.
Yeah, great everything.
He's insanely likable.
Yeah.
He's got this kind of like, just this like charm of like, wow, you're in so over your head, but like there is this edge to him that's under the surface where it's like this guy could snap, and like I believe he goes through so much character development.
Yeah.
In every episode.
Yeah.
Every episode he is a different person by the end of it, and none of it feels rushed or forced. It feels natural. And it's also like he's kind of dopey sometimes.
He is a little dopey.
You like your job, right? You're not dealing smack, and like you just like.
You like pizza rolls. Oh, wait, I was gonna say Sean Penn.
I know. Simon Pegg.
Simon Pegg. There you go.
Scotty.
Simon Pegg is in it, and
you know why he's in it, right?
Fun fact.
Yeah, this is cool.
He was the original inspiration for, I guess it was both the artist and Garth Ennis. He, like, if you look at the comic book, he looks exactly like Huey in the comic book. So if you pull up a Google image, you'll see him, and it looks exactly like Simon Pegg.
And I just thought that was such a cool little nod.
Yeah.
To put him in, put him as the dad.
He's in like what, 3 episodes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know what? He might be the saddest character.
He is the saddest character. He's like a broken, like,
so bad for him.
Like he's just accepted his role as a nothing father, kind of. Like he's involved.
Like he's not a bad guy.
No, he's not a bad guy. He's just very like.
And he loves his son. Like he truly loves Huey.
He just is like.
He's okay with coasting.
Yeah, that's all it is. It's just like, I'm okay here, and you should be okay too. Yeah. That's basically what he tells his son. That scene
where Huey loses it and trashes his room.
Yeah.
And just like kind of tells off his dad is just so heartbreaking, because it's like he's not a bad guy, but you can see like this seething anger, and Huey's just finally fucking bubbling over, and he can't contain it anymore.
That's violation. You like pizza rolls? No, I don't, Dad. I don't like pizza rolls.
I don't like Remington Steel.
That's great. That's great.
He's great. Oh, so the other standout, before I get sidetracked,
is Hope Schlotman. What's her name?
Hope Schlotman.
That's not.
It took me a minute to. 2 people from Jessica Jones.
Yes.
No, not her. Although I do like her. She's great. This guy just captured my heart. The actor's name's Tomar Capone. I hope I'm pronouncing that right.
Oh, okay.
The actor who plays Frenchie, I love him. I just love Frenchie. How did you... Such an inherently ridiculous character, you made him so fucking likable. He's just such a good guy.
So he's part of The Boys. He's the first one that we meet.
Mm-hmm.
He's like... the weapons specialist?
He's their Q.
Yeah, he's their Q. He kind of he helps them figure out ways.
When I was a child, my father, he tried to strangle me with a duvet. No, what was it? It was a Hello Kitty duvet. He's just like, the shit he comes out with sometimes.
I liked everybody in this. I think the standouts for me were definitely Huey, Jack Quaid.
Yeah.
And I liked, what is her, do you have her name there? The girl who plays Starlight.
Oh, the actress's name is Erin Moriarty.
Oh, okay.
The character's name was Annie January.
Okay. Really?
Yes.
Oh, it's just... Okay, all right, whatever.
And the girlfriend who dies? Robin Ward.
Yeah.
Real subtle reference, guys.
Yeah, it's a...
super subtle, real cool.
Yeah.
He killed Robin Ward.
Burt Ward.
Played.
More Burt.
He was also in that other movie.
He was in yeah. But she was great. I liked her, and she is, I guess, our other main, our secondary protagonist.
Secondary protagonist. And
she
on
is
the complete opposite side of the spectrum.
She wants to be a superhero. And she has a great line in the beginning. It's like, when did like naive become like stupid, or when like
altruistic?
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, it's like, no, I want to do what I'm supposed to be doing.
Not in it for the fame.
Yeah.
She just wants to do the right thing.
And she sticks with it the whole way through, which I think is great. Like, yeah, she goes through ups and downs.
She compromises in some areas.
Especially in the beginning.
Yeah.
And she gets over it, and she powers through, and I think she's great. I think those two are great together.
Her main function initially is to show us, like, oh, there are good superheroes. Like, this could have so easily been a black and white monster of the week. We gotta figure out how to kill him in some crazy way, and every episode is that over and over again.
Yeah.
And sure, that could have been fun, but they decided to go a much murkier gray. Like, there is no 100% good or 100% bad person in this world.
I would disagree. And say the main superhero,
with the exception of
the seven.
With the exception of him.
That's what they're called. So they're called the Seven. There's other superheroes.
There's a couple hundred underneath the umbrella of Vought.
Okay.
But their crown jewel is like the seven. They're the ones in New York who are the figureheads of the company. And
let's just get this out of the way. They're Zack Snyder's Justice League.
They are.
They're pretty much like, there's references to like Man of Steel, like I pointed out to you when we watched the first episode. Mm-hmm. There is a portrait of the main one. His name is Homelander. He's the Superman. He's
Superman with a dash of Captain America.
Yes.
Really just stylistically some Captain America with the
stylistically Captain America, but more so it's Superman.
Much more so Superman, yes.
But there is a picture on Elizabeth Shue's wall, who's like the head of the company.
Yeah.
Or one, like,
she's at least the head of the suit arm of the company.
Yeah. But she has a picture, which is the exact picture of Henry Cavill doing like his Superman pose in Man of Steel, and it's like, wow, like you really got it there, and it's very apparent that it's like that dark kind of version of Superman, which they get so right.
Yes,
and he is an evil, disgusting motherfucker.
More than evil, he's genuinely scary.
He is scary.
Like,
Superman could be scary.
It hit me in episode 2. Because in episode 2, they end up capturing Transparent. They have him, and it's when Homelander's flying over, and they're all freaking out. Like, he can see through the fucking ceiling. He can hear, like...
not even that. It's when he goes and talks to, like, one of the tech people.
Yeah, he's like, I can do whatever the fuck I want.
I can do whatever the fuck I want. Like,
yeah.
And she is just like, okay.
So here's the thing. I took that more as she was intimidated because he, in terms of the corporation, was in more of a point of power.
Well, we see later on. Yeah.
But the thing that it's how afraid the boys are, and it's the realization of like they're fucked forever if they don't kill this guy. Because he really can't be stopped. He can fucking see them. He can hear... Like... You don't think of Superman as like, oh man, Superman's super dangerous. Because he would never do any of those things.
No, because he's Superman, and he grew up on a farm with fun-loving parents, except in the Zack Snyder version.
Yeah. But... Like, those power sets, if given to a villain, it's fucking scary, man.
It is scary.
And boy, do they not skip on his laser vision.
No, they go all out.
It's magnificent.
Especially the last episode.
Oh, Christ.
And it feels like it's like kind of like, yeah, I have all these other powers, but this is just like the easiest to use.
Yeah.
Which I feel like is another great character trait. He's evil and sort of lazy.
It's efficiency. He's like, what's the easiest way to do this?
Well, like even with we'll get into it more, but even in the airplane scene, like in the cockpit, like there could have been easier ways to like handle that situation, but it just comes down to, yes, what was the easiest and most efficient way to stop this guy?
And that scene is...
It's incredible.
One of the most heartbreaking scenes. And this also goes back to, with limited exceptions, no one's 100% good, no one's 100% bad. Our Wonder Woman character, Queen Maeve, right? I believe that's what her
Queen
name
Maeve, yeah.
They go... They're trying to rescue this plane for the wrong reasons. They're trying to do it to basically get a government contract.
Yeah, there's a subplot that goes throughout the show. The Elizabeth Shue's character wants to get superheroes into the military to generate more
it's
profit.
A government contract.
Yeah,
they get paid.
Yeah, they get paid, and it's like, well, this plane has been hijacked, and it's over international, not international.
Yeah, it was over international waters. So they
can go and do this. Yeah. No, it's not over. They have to be in their own
international waters. Anything goes.
Oh, okay. So
no one owns it, so they can technically act there.
So it's like, you go and do this, and it will be great. It will be great PR.
Yeah,
that's what it was.
That's their focus,
and that's what the focus is. And it turns out to be... So first, it starts out like, oh, it's awesome. They come in.
They're so happy.
They save the day.
Yeah.
What does he say? What does he say to the... Jesus, you cannot...
Dude, it keeps sticking to my... Yeah. No, you guys.
You guys are the real heroes.
Every time you bust that line out.
And it's... so that's the comedy portion. And then we get to the dark portion... is where they figure out, oh, there's another hijacker. He's in the cockpit. And they go in, and then he uses the laser vision, and he destroys... doesn't he kill the pilot and
destroys the console?
Console, yeah. So they can't fly it.
And they're genuinely trying to figure out a way to save these people. And they're not... they are... Well, one of them is a monster.
He is a monster.
But they're trying to do the right thing.
And he's saying, like Maeve, who's basically the Wonder Woman... Yeah. She's saying, like, why can't you just, fly under the plane, pick it up, and, guide it, I guess. And he's like, I can rip through the fucking hole. Yeah. Like, if I'm
not designed to be held up by such a small surface area. I'll break through it.
What did he say? He's like, how am I going to hold it? There's no ground beneath me. Like,
well, fly underneath it. He's like, I'll punch through the hole if I do that.
Yeah. He's like, we just gotta go. And then he's going through, like, while it's like, it's terrible turbulence.
So they're in the front. They have to walk
all the way to the back.
Walk past
everybody.
All these people.
Yeah. And he's still saying, it's okay, guys. You're the heroes. Yep. It's fine. We just gotta check out something in the back. And then he literally gets to a point where, like, Maeve is, like, trying to help them. Like,
Maeve just is like,
can we
just save some? Yeah. Save some people. That's bad PR.
But they know
we failed.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's such a gut-wrenching. Yeah. Like, while watching, because we watched the first 3 episodes together, right?
Yeah, and then he starts talking down to them,
getting in their face, and like literally like
fucking cut you people in half.
Yeah, he's like threatening them with like laser beams. It's heart-wrenching, and like my jaw just dropped because I couldn't believe that they did something like that. But like bringing up all those points too made it
so dark.
Yeah, made it so much more perfect.
And it was so much worse that Maeve didn't want it to go down that way.
No,
like it'd be bad if they just dipped and like, oh, they're evil. But it's like she so desperately wanted to save that like little girl. And then it goes right back into the cynical nature of this show where he uses it as we could have saved them.
Like a rally.
Like he literally, he flips it.
Like a rallying cry. Like, because like, I think it's the next episode or whatever. all the wreckage washed up on shore, and he's like,
he's got the fucking pin on.
Yeah, he's like,
Remembrance Band.
It's like, we could have saved them, blah blah blah, if we only had this military contract or whatever. And she's just like, I cannot.
He's feigning tears.
Yeah, and they're all like cheering him on, like. Yes,
he might actually. I'll have to talk to my wife, get her opinion on this. He might actually be a sociopath. Because he's empty. There's nothing. He just lies. He does it with such casual ease and indifference.
I would have to somewhat
The only person he shows minute affection for turns out to be bullshit.
No, I would say two people.
Oh, Paul.
He has two people that he sort of wants them to. He cares about one. No, I'm sorry. Let me take this back. He cares about both of them.
Mm-hmm.
But the way he shows affection to one of those people isn't really truly like he wants them to love him.
He wants approval.
Which is the doctor. The doctor, spoilers, created him.
Yeah.
Because he kind of comes, like, when he goes to see him in, like, the second to last episode or whatever, it kind of is like a weird father and son thing.
Like a Frankenstein's monster, yeah.
Yeah. It felt like he is like, this is the closest thing to a father that I have. You know?
Yeah. And, speaking in that similar vein, the whole second half of this season, I felt like they were building towards this inevitable conflict. And I almost felt a little bit of sympathy for the heroes because, especially from Homelander, you get this sense, and this comes up very much during the police shootout sequence when he's walking up, where he's like, we're fucking superheroes. We're gods. What are we doing? Like, why are we bothering with this bullshit? Why are we listening to people who aren't even in the same league as us?
Well, that's...
And I was waiting for that to come to a head, and it pretty much does.
It does. And at the end, it's like everything is like, this is it.
Yeah.
Which brings like it all to a new level.
It elevates it. So when you start this season off, you think it's gonna be like a boilerplate plot about revenge and killing these people, and that's it. But then
killing these people in like weird, interesting ways, because they have to like think of a way to kill this guy who is what?
His skin is carbon, it's like basically bulletproof.
Yeah. And hey, listen, it's hysterical. I feel like, okay, so it's 8 episodes, and like halfway through, it loses
what show it is.
Yeah, it loses most of the comedy elements, not all, but most of them, and changes to dark. Oh shit! This is heavy, Doc.
The show, it almost lies to you what it's gonna be about.
Yes,
but that turn is earned and almost feels very natural, and it's shockingly mature for Huey's character to start off on this revenge quest and be like, you know what? What's the fucking point? I'm gonna get revenge, and then what?
Yeah,
that's not what she would want. That's not even really what I want.
Yeah,
like there's bigger things going on than revenge, and Carl Urban's character Billy Butcher is solely focused on revenge.
Yeah,
and everyone else is under the impression that they basically stumble upon this big conspiracy, and that is what the show ends up being about. This conspiracy of what was the name of the chemical? Compound V.
And it's being spread around.
At first we think it's a steroid.
Yes.
And then we realize no,
it's what gives the superheroes their superpowers.
Yeah. So it's now this big conspiracy, and they're getting into the military, and just like the scope of everything goes from very small to very big, but not in a big, obnoxious, skybeam, world-ending way.
No, it's very natural. It's very realistic. You find out in a good way, and I love how we find out about another member of the boys, which is not a boy, it's a girl. Her name is Kimiko. We find, like, it kind of hit me, like, later on, like, because I know what they say, like, her backstory was. Yeah. But the whole purpose of her, like, they find they're trying to find out why A-Train was running so fast that he hit into Huey's girlfriend. And they try to find out, like, why was he doing that? You know, and they find out through Translucent, and they're going around and they find, like, this Chinese, like, underground, like, mafia thing. And, like, it didn't hit me that, like, the mafia is, like, breeding their own, like, superpowered...
Terrorist,
yeah.
It's a terrorist.
Yeah. Which, again, find out later through the movie that...
Because even then, we don't have the context yet.
No, we don't. It's just
realize
like...
until, like, the second to last episode, oh my god, Vought is making supervillains.
Yes, and we think it's Vought. Mm-hmm. When it's really... Homelander being a evil, disgusting asshole.
And boy, Elizabeth Shue couldn't jump on that dick fast enough after she found out what he... It's like the first time that she was genuinely proud of him. Because he made it happen for her, and now she's, like, getting the promotion. She's going to take over.
Yeah.
I love that you think she's going to be horrified. The last time he tried to do something like this is when he kills the senator and the senator's child in the opening episode.
Yes.
Yeah, children get killed in the show.
Yes. I thought... There's one thing that I did not like about the entire series. Mm-hmm. Not this... It's this season, I guess.
By the way, did you notice that Kimiko was Katana?
From Suicide Squad.
Her soul traps the...
Shut up.
Her soul traps a sword of her victims.
Anyways, fuck you. There, the one thing I didn't like was the token, like, oh, you're lying to me plot of the Huey and Starlight thing. I felt like the show was above that. Like, I felt like by the end of the episode where they go to the Christian con or whatever, which is a great episode too.
Yeah, it is.
I felt like at the end of that, you could have wrapped that up and been like, she could have totally been on his side. You know?
I feel like the stakes at that point weren't high enough to justify her being okay with Huey murdering her coworker.
It's just a coworker who was spying on her while she was peeing after she just had a terrible sexual experience with another group.
If by sexual experience you mean a sexual assault.
A sexual assault. I'm sorry. Yes. No, I'm sorry. Yeah. It slipped. Yeah.
Listen, these days, you say tomato, I say tomato. Jeffrey Epstein,
I put horrible.
Kills himself.
I put horrible in front. Fuck you. Cut it out. Put it.
You can't. It's gonna be the title of the episode.
She had a horrible sexual assault. I guess saying sexual assault is just horrible.
That's enough. Yeah. It's not like, it was a mild sexual assault.
It was a medium sexual assault.
Maybe pancakes after.
No, it was terrible.
It was subjectively bad.
Yes, it's subjectively bad. But then right after it, it's just this fucking disgusting prick who's just watching her. It's like, you don't owe any allegiance to him. You barely even met the fucking guy. And after learning about everything else that's going on, because it's easily explainable, and I feel like she could totally see through it. I felt like that would have been a perfect point to be like, hey, listen, maybe you would just leave that part out. Like, hey, we captured him, and he's still with us. But listen, it's more of this bigger thing.
The thing is, I appreciated the drama of, like, what are you gonna do? You fucking killed a superhero. Like, you're a murder. Like it added an extra element of, like, Huey is so fucked. His not only... It's not enough that he's lying to her. He's actively, like, doing the complete opposite. He's for all intents and purposes, in their eyes, a villain. He's like a bad guy.
In her eyes, he would be a villain.
But the reason I actually don't mind that is I really appreciated the resolution of it, where he comes to her for help. Because I was like, how the fuck is he gonna possibly convince her in a way that's, like, not bullshit? And he just very matter-of-factly says, Vought is doing something evil. They're an evil corporation doing something bad, and you're a superhero, and you it is your job to do the right thing. And it was so simple that like it was almost too obvious. And I was like, well, fuck, he's right.
But that resonates with her.
It does.
Because she wants to do the right thing, which is portrayed throughout the entire series, which makes it make sense. I'm saying that you could have wrapped that up quicker. We
didn't know that Vought was making supervillains yet. We only found that out the episode before.
Okay, so then you could have done it. Could have been 9 episodes.
All right, fair enough.
I'm just saying, like, I felt like it could have been wrapped up, and it felt like this. It's just like a rote kind of like, all right, we got to get this part out of the way, while everything else is unique and feels more interesting and different.
And let's be real, if that's the weakest part of the story, I think we're miles ahead of other things.
Exactly, but like that's the one thing that's like, oh, it could have been.
Dave.
It could have been.
What you're telling me is
I enjoy 99% of them.
Dave. Starlight forgot about the Iron Fleet.
No, the Iron Fleet?
Starlight, she forgot about the Iron Fleet, Dave.
What are you talking about?
You don't know about that?
What?
Holy shit. Well, you watch Game of Thrones, right?
Oh, yes.
Danny forgot about the Iron Fleet, and so you know how they do the interviews at the end?
I know. One
of the writers is talking after they just killed Danny's dragon in the most retarded way. Is that a faux pas?
We can't talk about
I'm just explaining the joke. I'm just explaining the joke.
I know, and they had the interview, and he's like, "Oh yeah, well Danny just forgot." Yeah, it was a great meme.
Yeah.
Fuck you! You forgot. And they're doing the Star Wars thing. They're fucking writing and directing it, or no, they're directing it. The new Star Wars property.
You know what? They did a fantastic job adapting a book series. And then the book series ran out, and now they had to
make up shit.
Yeah.
Which was bad. I'm sorry, it was bad.
Some people some people are good at certain things.
They were adapting it very well.
Really good at adapting super visual graphic novels.
Okay. I'm glad you said that, and
coming up with his own stuff. Not so much.
Pretty terrible.
Not so much. But super visual graphic novels and fun horror movies? Yeah, Zack Snyder, you good at that. Remember the rape scene in 300 too?
I don't... I wouldn't say that's a... Well, is it?
I don't know, man. I don't
No. Nobody knows.
So what happened? He's like, I don't know. I don't even know.
We'd have to watch that again.
It was great.
Because
it's not, but...
No,
the scene is amazing, and I love.
It starts out. It starts out like the way it starts.
You're meeting the enemy to discuss a treaty.
You know exactly what this movie is. From that beginning battle scene with the
horse,
the close-up zoom in of the horse's eye, I know what this movie is. And it's fantastic. I would have to say it's better than 300. Just as stupid it is.
God,
I think that movie has been buried.
We went to a screening of that.
Yeah, it was at the Regal in Deer Park, right?
Yeah.
That was fun.
I took you to that.
That was fun.
It was a good dumb time. But back to the boys.
So I have to say, so the biggest thing I think that's like the big takeaway from the last episode, besides the ending, is that
satisfactory twist also.
What, the ending?
Yeah.
Oh, I was gonna say that A-Train is dead and Hope Slotman just kind of placated Huey. Like, oh no, go! I got this, and she like does something on her wrist or whatever, and like calls it in.
Weird enough. She says, I have a code 78.
Yeah.
It's just a weird thing. At work, 1078 is the 10 code for like an officer in danger. In the city, it's 1013. Just thought that was a weird coincidence that it takes place in New York and their code was, of all the numbers they could have picked, just happened to match up.
I think she didn't call it in. I think she let him die. Especially after what she says, like, he's never going to stop trying to go after you. and then he leaves to go. He leaves to like basically escape with the rest of the boys. I think she's just like whatever. I think you should let him die.
So I guess we should quick go into like what this ending basically does. Like this whole plot is centered around.
You have nothing on that?
No, I don't necessarily agree. I think she's too much of a by the book person to.
I think at that
let him
point,
die.
no, because I think at that point she's turned on Huey's side.
I don't think it's a question of she turned on Huey's side. I think she realized that Huey was on the right side.
That's
she
what
never
I'm saying.
Wavers from what she believes to be good. She just realizes.
No,
oh,
she knows
shit,
that he's right.
Yeah, that he's right.
That his point that he was making is right, and that he is in danger, and she still likes him, and this is an obstacle in the way. And he's already had his heart attack because he hasn't had his drug fix because he's been going like hardcore with the Compound V. I guess it's like you have your dose and that's it, because we don't see that from Homelander or Starlight or Maeve.
You're given it as a whatever to get you the powers initially,
at birth.
and then you don't use it anymore, but you can continue to use it as a steroid.
Yes,
is the way I gathered that it works,
which he uses, and other characters that we meet, as other characters that we meet also use
Pop
it.
Claw.
That was another jaw-dropping scene. Holy shit. Holy fucking shit. That is not... Wow. You know what? I don't want to spoil that. Watch the show and you'll know what we're talking about. It just comes out of nowhere and it freaked me out. It was kind of creepy.
Listen, the dangers of going ass to mouth.
Yes, and that's all we'll say. But this fucking ending, Elizabeth Shue gets her fucking brain melted
in a horrific
way.
Sequence that completely subverts the entire construction of that scene.
Subverts your expectations.
But in a satisfying way, because now it's like that was Butcher's only leverage.
It was also the only thing holding everything together.
Yeah. The gloves are off now. Like season 2. Holy shit.
Is he running the entire world? Like that's what it feels like. Like that was the only thing holding the character of Homelander back was like this weird mother-son relationship, because that's what it
hard to quantify.
Yes, it's a weird relationship because
it's very Oedipal.
She's very scared of him, but is
only get hints of
up until the end,
and that revelation was so chilling.
Yeah,
because boy does Elizabeth Shue sell that she's fucking horrified of him.
Well, it also comes out because we watched it with your wife Megan for the first 3 episodes, and I remember her saying it's like, I don't really like Elizabeth Shue because she seems fake, and then at the end it makes so much sense why she feels fake, because she's fucking afraid of this psychopathic superhuman.
It's almost like if you've ever been around like a really big scary dog.
Yeah.
But like you can't show fear to a dog. You need to hold your composure and you need to keep like chill.
Yeah.
And that's usually enough to keep him at bay. And it's like she's teetering that the entire time.
Yeah.
She's trying to keep her composure, not show any fear, but she's freaking the fuck out because at any moment this guy could have a mood swing and kill her with impunity.
And it makes it great. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. It also makes it great for rewatching it too, because once you get to that point, going back, you can kind of see her performance in a different light. You can probably see many other characters' perforance in a different light. I would say Maeve.
The performances are amazing.
Everybody's great.
Even Chance Crawford,
who is
not Aquaman the Deep.
Oh, we didn't even talk about him. We got to talk about him.
There's plenty to say about him because he is interesting.
He is interesting.
I didn't say he was a good person. I don't think he's a good person.
No, he's not a good person.
But
I think... Okay, so remember...
I know you struggle with this character.
Yes, I do.
With the show's intention with him. I think I know what the show's trying to do with him, but...
Yeah, the way I feel like the show is portraying him, we're supposed to feel sorry for him.
But the first thing we see him do is...
The first thing that we see him do is the sexual assault with our second protagonist, Starlight.
Yeah.
Starlight. And from there on, he's just a disgusting, pathetic asshole.
And it's just sad. Like, it's sad.
It gets sad. But there's points where it's like, listen.
The running joke with him trying to save wildlife is fucking hilarious.
Okay, I have to admit, it's funny, but I feel like that's another reason, like, oh, don't you feel sorry for him? Yeah, because he is trying to do...
He's trying
objectively
to do good things.
Yes.
He's trying to break out of his shell. He's trying to not be the handsome muscle. Like, he wants to do good.
Because he speaks like because he has the talk with his therapist, and he's like, I want to play to my I want to play to my strengths. I want to do something good for the environment, for the people. I was talking
about dolphins, and they called me a fag, or whatever.
Yeah. But you make it like the way that the show portrays it. It's like, no, he's still kind of a fucked up asshole. It's funny that these things are happening to him.
So, in reference to the sexual assault, and...
Well, he gets sexually assaulted, too.
He kind of does.
He kind of does.
He kind of does.
Yes.
He gets a little taste of his own medicine.
Yeah.
I don't think that the show was justifying what he did.
No, I don't think it's justifying what he did.
They were trying to explain why he would do something like that. So if you look at the way he is treated on the show, he is a joke.
He is a joke.
He is a joke, and the part
just like Aquaman
that kills is he knows it.
Yeah.
He knows that he's a joke. He's the fish guy. He's a diversity hire. That he's a deeply damaged and deeply insecure person.
Yes.
And acts like rape and sexual assault aren't about sex. They're about power. And he has the opportunity to basically pull a power move on someone and feel strong.
Yeah, and that's what he talks about.
And that's why they're showing us all that. That's why they're making him pathetic. It's not that they're trying to justify, oh, that's why. It's just like, no, like, this is why he did it. Like, It's not okay. It's not the right way to deal with it. But he's not 100% a monster.
He's not 100% a monster, but he's definitely... I think it's very, like, you can, like... It's like a blink of an eye, but the 8-year flashback scene with the Christmas party...
Yeah.
It's very brief, but it's with him and Elizabeth Shue.
Yeah.
And the way he's acting with her and everything makes it feel like he's, like a top dog almost, kind of like he's like at the peak of his game, and people like him and stuff like that, and it looks like he's kind of with Elizabeth Shue. You should really just rewatch that one part, but it feels like this is where it is, like he's like the main guy, and no wonder why he's pulling all that kind of stuff.
Well, I think they do a good job insinuating that his placement on the team is his looks. A-Train is the fastest man alive. The focus is always how fast he is. He's so fast. Homelander is the power. Maeve is like the female sexual thing. Black Noir is
like
just a good dude. He's just no problems with him. We never see him do anything wrong.
He doesn't talk or anything.
Literally never does anything.
It's the last episode where we find out that he has amazing piano skills.
But the Deep, in terms of his powers, they're a joke. They're not the reason he's on the team. The reason he's on the team is he's a good-looking guy, and he knows
can create
that.
Points. Yes.
Yes. He's PR only. He's there to open water parks.
Yes.
To go on the news and talk about cleaning up the beaches. But mainly, he's just there to flash his biceps, which is a line he literally says.
And listen, they look great.
He's an objectively good-looking dude. I'm not going to say that.
Well, no, his arms are fucking...
Dude, the vein...
It's apparent through every scene.
And that's real, not like Homelander's suit, which is definitely padded to all hell, just because that's not even realistic.
I feel like that's just like a fun kind of
no, it's an intentional move.
Yeah, it's an intentional.
I don't think
he
there's
never takes it off.
Actually, there's one scene where the upper flap is undone.
Yeah,
that's it.
It's
the most you get.
He's always in the costume. It's like he's dedicated.
He said, "I don't have a secret identity."
That's true.
Give it up.
Because the doctor calls him by Jack or John or something like that.
I don't even remember.
And he's like, like, people don't call me that. Nobody calls me that. I'm just Homelander.
Yeah.
And that's it. That's who he is, which is another great part of his evil, disgusting character.
Yeah.
He doesn't have a real name. He just goes by that moniker.
Yeah. He has no identity outside of being
that he was created for. Yeah. That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
So I think if you want to look at the show as an example of something that really was done right, like something they just nailed, and it was Megan that pointed this out to me, there is not a single one-dimensional character in this show. Every character is complicated, well-rounded, and thus realistic, and always a little sympathetic. Even Homelander gets a moment or two where you feel a little bad for him.
You feel a little bad for him, and you're always constantly curious about his backstory, especially after the reality TV show
let's
episode.
Be real, like, you gave this kid godlike superpowers,
put him in like a padded cell, basically.
Yeah, there was no hope. There's no hope.
Removed from
He's
everybody.
Dr. Manhattan.
Yeah.
He's Dr. Manhattan if they didn't have to worry about the legal issues of making him exactly like Superman.
Yeah.
This is really what Alan Moore was going for. I mean, it is,
Yeah.
though. Like, it's just, everyone's got something.
There's really, everybody is great. Like we said, the performances are fantastic. Everybody's written really well. And they're more deep than what they come off to be.
That's something else that's great. The only one-dimensional character, initially, is Butcher.
Yes, because he just comes in and he's just kind of like the gruff, like, cool guy or whatever.
Says cunt a lot.
Yeah. Which, that was funny.
That whole bit.
Yeah, that whole bit where, like, you're always calling somebody a cunt or a twat. It's like, listen, twats take a lot of... Yeah, they take a pounding. I thought that was actually...
My favorite thing, I think, is his Spice Girl speech.
Yes. You know what? But I feel like that never paid off.
It did pay off.
When?
They reincorporated it later. You didn't notice?
When?
Dude, they actually did it in a way where I was like, oh, God damn it. Like, you made that sad somehow.
Oh, that
Episodes
his wife
later,
loved this.
You find out his wife loved the Spice Girls, and
Yeah.
he's like, she would hum it all the time. And it's like...
Oh, well, your dog thing came back, too. Where, remember you said, I hope that doesn't ever get explained? It does get explained.
What?
Remember, I think it's like in the second or third episode where Huey looks in the back of his car and there's like a dog toy.
Oh.
And then there was the flashback and like it starts out with like the bulldog or whatever in his home where with his wife.
Well, at the initial flashback, you see them are at the party. I guess it goes back to home and they do have a dog.
No, they do. That's the second flashback.
Yeah. Wow.
There you go.
Oh, sad.
Yeah. So whatever happened to the dog? In the comic, I read the first couple pages because on Amazon you click the book and like you see the first couple pages for like the tease or whatever, and it shows that he has the dog throughout. So that's in the books. I don't know.
Probably a cost-saving measure.
Yeah, probably.
We've worked with animals. It's a fucking nightmare.
You don't work with animals or kids.
Yeah.
You definitely don't work with both.
We don't work with kid animals either.
We don't work with kid animals. But no, I thought that was actually pretty cool because I was saying, like, he's the only person that isn't really fleshed out or doesn't
feel like a human being quite yet.
Yes. And then literally right when I said that, I watched it on my own.
The next episode is his backstory.
Yeah.
It's like,
oh, God, okay, thank you.
Damn. And it's like, it's hard because like a lot of the things he does, I'm like, oh, you're kind of an asshole. But like,
well, no, he listen. He's right about it.
Yeah,
just like Homelander explaining to Maeve is like, we can't save these people because of these reasons.
He's right, but he's a dick about it. And the big scene that I think ties that all together is when they go to the group therapy session for people who are victims of superhero collateral. And he fucking loses his mind and starts screaming at all these victims. And he's not victim blaming. He's like, why aren't you angry?
Yeah.
It's like, you should
be on my side.
Where's your self-respect?
Yeah. I found out where that guy is from.
Oh, well, he was the guy from earlier. We saw him a couple episodes before.
No, I know, but like I told you, it's like, he looks familiar. What else is he in? Okay.
Oh, God.
He's in the first episode. He's in the pilot episode of It's Always Sunny.
That's the gang gets racist, right? Is that the first episode where D shows up with him?
Yeah.
And then Mac's like, oh, the bar's closed. And he's like, I know. He's like, well, yeah. He's the club promoter guy.
Yeah, and he turns out to be gay, and he makes the club gay or whatever. Yeah. That's him.
Shit, you're right.
I was like, I know him from somewhere, and I looked through his IMDb, and it said Always Sunny. I was like, where is it? Oh.
Pre-Danny DeVito, Always Sunny.
Yeah, that's the first...
Some OG shit right there.
Oh, I gotta show you this meme. Somebody from work showed it to me.
Oh, God, workplace memes.
It's pretty fucking hysterical. But
I'll just vamp while Dave gets him. I love that they reincorporated the buffet thing when they go to the gay orgy. Wow, this spread is so much nicer than the straight orgies.
So the show ends,
like I said, on a very, in my opinion, a nihilistic note, because it throws away everything. The entire, and normally that would I'd feel cheated by a move like that, where it's like, wow, the entire plot was building towards this thing, and now you just negated all of it. But it's more interesting, honestly, that it's like, I don't know where we go from here.
That's what I like about it. It's like, well, we've gotten to this point where the secrets are out. He has a kid. Homelander has a kid.
With Billy's wife, who is not dead.
And it proves from earlier in the season, where it's like, oh, they're created. They're created through this drug.
Wait, he's the first organic one.
Yes, he's the first organic one. Yeah.
Oh, shit. I didn't even think about that.
Yes. It's like this was the first organic birth. And from what the doctor pointed out earlier...
Shouldn't even happen.
No. He's saying this like, you should have been with a loving, family. This was his second try.
He was trying to make a new Homelander.
Yes.
Fuck, you're right.
And they wanted to keep it a secret.
You're right.
From him. God.
He was a reboot.
Yes.
They were literally rebooting Homelander.
Yes.
So here's my question. Do we know definitively that the sexual contact between Butcher's wife and Homelander was unconsensual?
I don't think so. I think she did cheat on him.
I think she might have cheated on him.
Yeah. It was a consensual thing.
Because the thing that she's having the mental breakdown is not about... From my read, she's not freaking out on that park bench with, oh my God, I was raped. It seems like she's freaking out like, oh my God, I'm pregnant. And with this elevated time schedule, like there's no way to hide it.
Yeah.
There's no way to convince Butcher it's his.
Yeah. It was immediate when they had what's her face come in. It was during the flashback.
Yeah.
What's her name? Mallory?
Yes.
When she came in and showed him the video, I was like, this wasn't a rape. This was a fooling around, cheating kind of scenario.
Yeah.
Where she was into it. She she wanted this. It was consensual.
This is all speculation, also. On our part, we don't.
On our on our part, we don't specifically know. I'm leaning to this side.
That's honestly the more interesting.
Yes.
Because here's the thing. Let's say we're both right.
It's like a hero worship type thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's say we're both right. Does Billy want to kill him anymore?
Yes.
Because did Homelander do anything bad to Billy now? Yeah, he fucked his wife. That's not cool. But but if it was a consensual thing, he saved his life. He didn't kill him. Like,
I think it would throw his reasoning out the window. But then you have something new. You
do have plenty to hate him for.
No, I'm saying like that hatred is like now in like this weird limbo where it's like, how can you do this? You're not dead.
Yeah.
Even though, in my mind, no, you're not dead. But I think in the back of his mind, he's like...
No, he accepted it.
Yeah, he kind of accepted...
Even when he trashed her grave and he was angry that they had a funeral, he knew on some level.
Yeah. But now it's like this new thing where it's like, you're alive and you had a baby with this guy, regardless if it was consensual or not.
I think for the first time, we're going to see Billy's character fueled by something that isn't revenge and rage, and that's very interesting.
But it also could lead to a new thing, like what we were saying, like there's nothing holding Homelander back with the rest of the superheroes. So, what's the motivation now? I feel like that's what it is, to like take them down because now we found out that they're evil.
You know,
as fuck.
It's almost kind of like what Huey went through, where it started as revenge, but then it evolved to there's a bigger thing going on here that's more important than my petty revenge. So maybe like he'll fall back in line with the boys and they'll re-solidify under this banner of like,
we gotta stop these people for the right reasons.
Yeah, we have to do this for the right reasons, for non-selfish reasons for once.
Yes.
Bob, I don't know if you saw, they posted the first official set. They're already shooting season 2.
And they're already covered in blood.
Yeah, well, listen.
That was funny.
I'm excited.
I'm very excited.
Even though it's an adaptation of it feels fresh, it feels very, very topical, and it's just a breath of fresh air to see something. Dave is just transfixed on the new
sorry,
puppy.
he's cute.
I just adopted, and listen, adopt, don't shop. I just adopted an Australian Shepherd. He's 8 weeks old, and his name is Thor Hemsworth because, yes, he's Australian. Naturally, he's a Hemsworth.
If I ever get a dog, I would get an Australian Shepherd.
I'm trying to make his Halloween costume for this year, so this is my idea. I'm going to get, like, basically a box that, like, his head and his little paws and his tail can stick out of, and I'm going to put a cylinder on top of it and a little strap, and he's going to be Mjolnir. And you can just pick him up by the handle and walk him around.
God damn it.
Yeah. Stupid. Is it stupid or is it very creative?
It's both.
Thank you.
So, I think we covered it.
I'm so glad I got, I always take it as a point of pride when I get Dave to watch something.
Especially TV shows, because I have to say, I don't know what it is. It's like, I don't have time for a bad TV show.
It's such a time sink that, there's too much good stuff out there. It's like hanging out with people that you don't really like. It's like, I don't see my friends that I love often enough.
And I gotta hang out with you.
I gotta hang out with fucking Joshua, that cunt.
Good thing I don't know any Joshuas.
I know a Josh.
I don't know any. Well,
I don't know any Joshuas.
It could be Joshua. You just shorten it.
No, but that's No,
I don't know.
That's like calling somebody like Lynn with one end, Lynn with two ends, like holding it longer. I'm just stealing a Mitch Hedberg joke at this point, but he died of a heroin overdose.
Come on.
The opioid addiction crisis is real, people. But let's all focus on violent video games.
Yes.
So The Boys. The Boys is good.
The Boys is good. That's the general... That's what we're getting towards. You should definitely watch it, especially if you're sick of superheroes, especially if you like dark comedies.
Especially if you love superheroes.
Yes. And if you like good TV shows.
Yeah.
It's very quick. Like, what was it again? The most binge show?
The most binge show on Amazon Prime, which, listen, that's kind of like being the fastest one at the Special Olympics. It's not like it's Netflix, but still.
There's other good shows on Amazon.
I know.
But this stands out.
But they're not drowning in it. No one's like, yo, Bosch? But Bosch?
There's only one that I know of that...
Maisel and High
Yes,
Castle I hear
that's
people
what it
talk
is.
about, but that's really it.
High Castle kind of
Fell off?
apparently fell off.
It's too controversial to not like Nazis these days.
It's just so weird the way they do. I've watched the first couple episodes. I'm like, this is just a weird. This is a little too weird to kind of subscribe to. It's a fun, like, alternate reality kind of universe that they set up, but like the purpose of it and what the man in the High Castle represents is just like this weird concept that I cannot get behind for some reason.
Yeah, in hindsight, we really should have had a trigger warning for this episode about sexual assault and rape and suicide and all those other things that happen in the show, but whatever. Every episode pretty much had like
there's
strong sexual content, graphic nudity, graphic language, graphic violence.
I think there's only one episode that doesn't have strong sexual content. Everything else is just because we when I went over before we watched the first 3 episodes, we watched the end of Society. Oh, and then after watching the first 3 episodes of the show, you said to me, "I'm so sorry for showing you all these strong sexual things." God. Like, it's okay. It's whatever.
We're gonna have to talk about.
We have to
Society. Maybe we'll do that in a.
No, we could do this very briefly.
Very briefly talk about.
We can very briefly talk about Society.
But really quick, I just want to acknowledge one more thing while we're still on The Boys before we just tie that up in a knot.
Okay.
I think it's very interesting.
Of course, it's a very interesting show.
I think it's very interesting that you and I just sat and talked about the Du Bois for over an hour, and I'm pretty sure we spent the majority of the time talking about Homelander.
Yes.
Didn't expect to do that.
He's a very interesting villain.
Yeah, he's really good.
And that's not to say that the other characters are not interesting at all. Yeah. They are very. It's just that he really
different kind of villain than we've gotten to see, really.
And he also shines, like, throughout, like, as every episode goes on, he really, like, picks up the steam to the point where it's like it is about him at the very end.
Yeah.
It's like, this is about taking down this guy. This is the ultimate goal.
Yeah.
But like I said, it's not to say that all these other characters are not interesting in their own rights.
Even the least interesting character is still lovable and like good.
All the people in the all the people in the group are great.
Even the one character that we know literally nothing about,
Black Noir,
is I'm transfixed on him.
He's fascinating because the man
the piano
that's the
thing that put the fucking bow on top.
Yeah, the cherry on top. Or even like the reality TV show part where it's like this brief cutaway where it's him next to what's his name?
I'm trying to remember. I remember laughing.
Seth Rogen.
Yes, and they're talking about
a new movie that they're making together. Yeah. And it's hysterical. Like, it just doesn't, like, he is the funny one of the group, and he doesn't even say anything.
He has 0 lines. Do we even know who plays him?
No.
I'm going to check on IMDb. I don't even think they have a fucking actor listed for him.
But he does fuck up Kimiko in the one scene. Like, we
know her to be a supervillain. I wouldn't even hold that against him as a character thing.
Oh, I feel like he would totally be on Homelander's side because there is that one point. Remember when they're all in the meeting together?
Oh wow, Black Noir does have an actor.
Yeah,
Nathan Mitchell.
But it's funny, like they're all at the meeting, and it's like he's telling us, like, we're all screwing up, except you, Black Noir. You're good. You're doing great. You're doing great. Like he's like the only like he's like the heavy on
Batman.
Homelander's side.
Yeah, he's the
Well, he's the Batman in quotation marks,
Yeah.
but like as far as the show is concerned, like he's probably
number 2.
he would be the
He's
number
the quiet number 2.
especially in the second season. I could totally
Yeah.
see that being.
They're
like,
definitely gonna, I think, expand upon him a whole
Yeah.
lot. So
maybe not expand, but definitely be like
I mean, he's gonna have a bigger presence. Than more
yes.
than, I think he was only actually in like 3 episodes.
yeah. But like he can hold his own. And he can- yeah.
No, he's great.
Yeah, he's great. He's not somebody to be fucked with, but yes, he is fascinating.
Listen, watch the show.
Watch
Go
the
watch
show.
the show. So
Society.
I want to share the adventure of watching Society with the audience. So
We have to
Society
we got an
is-
hour in.
okay, we'll keep it brief.
We gotta keep it brief. But
Okay.
yes,
So
this
Society
is
is like a cult weird movie that's known for its surrealist imagery from the mid to late 80s, and it's just got this following for being really fucking bizarre. And
yeah.
to give you an idea of what this movie's like, the first time I watched it alone. I finished it, and I truly had no fucking idea whether or not I loved or hated the movie. I was leaning towards hating the movie.
It could definitely, when you start it, you'd be like, "This is fucking stupid."
Yes.
And awful and
But
weird.
it might. I think it's actually kind of amazing. After
Of course, it gets really amazing.
So I needed to watch it again, and I needed to watch it with someone else. I've now seen it 3 times. I watched it with the first half with Dave and Megan.
No, you watched the whole thing by yourself.
Yes, and then,
'Cause you
I
told-
watched the first half with both you and Megan, and we stopped, and we were like, okay, we're going to have to continue this. I then restarted it with her and restarted it with you. And so now I've seen it 3.5 times, and just Jesus Christ, this fucking movie at the end.
It's the ending that really solidifies its fucking craziness. Because it is. Listen, it starts off with like this weird incest.
And there's like glimpses of weird body stuff, and I actually love how reserved it is because it's weird and fucked, but they're really restrained with it. It's like just weird angles, weird proportions, things not being where they should be. It's very unsettling.
You effed your sister.
Oh, there's a lot of incest in it. There's a lot of incest in it.
Get the joke.
Oh, is that the MILF thing?
The videos.
Yeah,
Yeah.
my mom's MILF, bruh. She's into it.
You totally hit the nail on the head, man. She's a fucking MILF, man. You would hook up with her? Yeah, man.
She's sending me signals.
She's totally into it, dude. It's just this.
Tell me your experience of me making you watch.
Well, that's what it was. It was one night. I forgot. We were coming off of something. We just watched something. I was about to leave, and you're like, Dave, I think you need to watch this. Are you having a beer? Are you fucking having a beer? Because you're a fucking liar?
I don't have any mixers. So this is what it's got to be.
Wow.
I don't have any mixers, Dave.
Yeah, alright. Nick, if you're listening.
Our friends don't listen to
No, our
this.
friends don't listen to this.
By the way, listen to the House of
Horror podcast.
with Tom and Tay.
Tom and Tay.
We listen to them.
Tay. I listen to them.
I listen to them. They definitely don't listen to them.
No, they don't listen. Anyway, Paul's drinking a beer after he said repeatedly
I don't like beer.
that he doesn't like beer.
I
He
settle
doesn't
for
drink
beer. So I'm making Dave watch this movie, and like Dave and I have this weird thing where with bad movies, and I'm doing bad in quotes because this actually ended up, I think, genuinely being good. It took us like what 6 times to watch Spider-Man.
No, it took us 3 times.
3 legitimate
Times.
sit-downs to get through it.
How long was that movie? 2.5 hours? 2 something? 2 something. It's like 2:10, I think. But it took us 3 times. I guess we got through each act.
If you could say that.
You could say act.
Fucking hate those movies so much.
But like, it was just so intriguing that it was just in the back of my mind for the entire time. I had it on my Amazon Prime because that's where we saw it. And I was like, you know what? I don't want to watch this just yet. I want to watch I want to finish it with Paul.
It's like you hear Jay on Red Letter Media talk about it.
Yeah, well, no, he just said, watch it. And that's all that it is. And it's like, well, I have to see it now. It's a recommendation.
And the guy, he produced Reanimator?
Yes.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yes. The ending is just so...
It goes 120 fucking % in on its concept. And it's nothing back at the end.
Nothing is held back at the end. It is absolutely insane.
It's kind of amazing.
It is kind of amazing because, like, after you're gonna be like, this was so. Oh my god! Like it's
about a guy who thinks that his parents and sister are in a weird incest cult, and it gets weirder than that.
He's not wrong.
Technically speaking, he's right.
Yes,
but they're also a different species of life form that can shapeshift into things, and they shapeshift into the most horrific things.
Let's end that right there.
Yeah.
Let's end that right there. And whatever you can, like, whatever your mind can think of, it's wrong.
It's worse. So go on Prime and watch all of The Boys.
Watch all of The Boys and then watch Society right after.
Is it true, Dave, that we live in a society?
That's true. We do live in this society.
That's for the edgelords out there.
Is that like some kind of bullshit like statement that they were trying to do?
No, I think it... I could be wrong. I think it started with a quote from the Joker. Because I always see it tied with the Joker. It's like, oh, we live in a society. And then it like goes on and he says something else. But they just kind of truncated it so we live in a society. And it's just like a generic edgelord comment to make. I could be wrong.
You could be wrong.
I don't give enough of a shit to look it up. Because fuck those guys anyway.
What are you doing, George? And no.
It's like I don't really care enough to actually see if I'm right. So that's it. That's
our wrap up.
Any news to discuss?
I saw Class of 1984.
Oh, how was that? I didn't see that yet.
You should definitely watch that. Yeah. So think of it's Death Wish, but in a school setting.
That should go over well in today's climate.
The students are criminals. They are psychotic criminals, and the one teacher has to fucking kill them all. It is not. It's.
When did this come out?
This came out in 1982. This came out in 1982. It stars Michael Fox.
Not to be confused with Michael J. Fox.
No, it's the same person.
Wait.
Yes, it's the same person. Apparently there was like this weird SAG issue where he couldn't register the Michael J. Fox name, so they had to credit him as Michael Fox. So he's
Michael J. Fox is in the movie?
He's in the movie. Roddy McDowell's in the movie. And another actor who's sort of famous, his name is Perry King, he's in it. And then the main gang lord, main student, his name is Timothy Van Patten, which, if anybody's familiar with any HBO property, he is a director for both Game of Thrones and Boardwalk Empire.
Oh, look at that.
Yes.
Speaking of fucked up high school things from the 80s, last night I made my friend watch Heathers because he had no idea what it was.
Heathers is brilliant.
Megan's never seen it, has no idea what it is. I think we have to take her into it blind.
We have to, after she's done with it. It's funny,
I feel like Heathers is something, like, you know who Wisecrack is on YouTube?
No.
They do like the Aliens Guide and like philosophy of, and like they do lots of like super well articulated deep dives into things. Mm-hmm. They also have a podcast called Show Me the Meaning where it's great. I highly recommend. The fact that they have not done an episode on Heathers yet, I think there's something there. There's really something there. Like the concept of like teen suicide and like the way it's portrayed and the way it's glorified in it.
It's not the same thing, but I feel like that Heathers is like the prototype of Mean Girls in a way.
I pitched it as rated R Mean Girls.
Yeah. I feel like that would be like a nice like double feature companion piece. Like you watch Heathers and then you watch Mean Girls
Mean Girls
afterwards?
is way better than most men will give it credit for. Because they just look at it and they're like, it's a stupid chick flick. I'm like, this movie's actually pretty funny.
No,
it's actually pretty funny. Yeah.
It's a little deeper than you might think. I think it's kind of like the, well, because Lindsay Lohan is in it, I think, like the, I can't think of the word, misconception.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, well, this person's in it. And it's like, it can't be
Tina
that.
Fey, though.
But nobody knows.
They should.
They should. I think,
Tina.
I don't think most people know.
Tina, if you're listening.
Did she direct it?
I think she had a writing credit.
She was a writer, but.
Tina, if you're listening, I love you. You're hilarious and smart, and I will leave my wife for you.
Thor is licking my, he's licking my ankle. I went over to Tom's recently.
Salem.
Yeah.
Tell me that they took like his little bed and they wrote Salem's Lot on it.
No.
They're gonna have to do that.
They could. All right.
I'm making them do it.
So that was
it.
That was the boys, the society, and random shit.
And then there's a couple random things we watched. No big news stories. Avengers Endgame's the highest grossing film of all time. That's probably the most interesting, like, cool. Thank God it's not fucking Avatar anymore.
Yeah. Which is such a weird anomaly to me.
It makes perfect sense in my eyes.
Really?
Because here's the thing. Avatar story, super, super simple. Do you need to speak English to understand Avatar? No. And that's why it did so well. Domestically, it did, like, good.
No, domestically, it did really good.
Yeah. Overseas is why it was, holy fucking shit, the highest grossing movie ever. It's because fucking everyone overseas went nuts for it. And that's it. Ladies and gentlemen, I think we're gonna cut it there.
Yeah, this is it.
Just a good old-fashioned, old-school podcast. No trains, no planes, no dead John Candies.
Oh, wow. That's a good movie.
I've never seen it.
You never saw?
I've seen...
We gotta watch it on Thanksgiving.
I've seen Nothing But Trouble, but not Cool Runnings and not Planes, Trains, and All. My John Candy experience is very skewed.
Wow. All right.
Remember he was in that JFK movie?
What? He was in a JFK movie?
Wait, you didn't know that?
No.
He's in the Oliver Stone.
He's in that? As who?
I'll tell you right. Give me 2 seconds. JFK.
Does he play Lyndon B. Johnson?
No, I'm like 90% positive that he's in this movie.
You're a fucking liar.
Dude, if I'm lying, I'm dying. But I could be incorrect. John Candy, Dean Andrews, he is in JFK. Why'd I lie?
Oh my God.
My favorite quote from the JFK movie, you don't know nothing because you've never been fucked in the ass. I hate this fucking movie. I've never
so much.
seen
that movie.
You know what? Oliver Stone is a filmmaker that just pisses me off because I feel like he made Natural Born Killers and then just the rest of his career is reminding people that he made Natural Born Killers.
Oh, I hated Natural Born Killers.
It's just like, look how edgy I am. Look, here's Selma Hayek.
God damn it.
I'm edgy, guys. And Aaron Taylor Johnson. I'm edgy. I just make fun of that one movie where they stab John, what's his face? I was about to say Elton John. That was so hilariously off. The other gay John. You know, the one from Grease. Travolta.
What the fuck are you talking about?
They stabbed John Travolta in his head. You just stabbed a federal agent in the trailer. That fucking movie sucked so bad.
Wait, the one with, where he's...
Taylor Kitsch, your favorite?
Yeah, and they're fucking... What's her name?
Yeah,
they're both fucking... What's her name? Savage Land?
Savages, I think it was
Savages?
called. Savages. From 2012. It's a bad movie.
Oliver Stone is very weird. I only like Platoon from him. That's about it. All right, we gotta cut this off.
Yeah, we gotta stop. All right.
We gotta stop.
Ladies and gentlemen, this has been On the Rocks, a conversational podcast about movies. I am Paul Denino Braun.
And I'm Dave.
Have a week and go watch good movies and TVs.
Yes, go do that. Your dogs they're right by my feet.